I'd just like to read a bit of information for you. You probably know all of this already, but at least it sets the tone and gets us to focus on why we're here today. It's entitled South China Sea. Fishermen, former officials bring China's President Xi to International Criminal Court for crimes against humanity. Manila, Philippines. China's President Xi Jinping was hauled to the ICC by Filipino fishermen, former Philippine Foreign Affairs Secretary Alberto Rosario, and former Ombudswoman Conchita Carpio Morales on March 15, 2019, just prior to the Philippines' exit as a state party to the International Criminal Court for crimes against humanity. Outlined in the communication submitted to the ICC is how President Xi Jinping and other Chinese officials committed crimes within the ICC's jurisdiction in implementing China's systematic plan to control the South China Sea. Much of the evidence presented are widespread, highly publicized, and have already been judicially vetted by the tribunal in the South China Sea arbitration. The situation is both unique and relevant because it presents one of the most massive, near-permanent, and devastating destruction of the environment in humanity's history. It adversely affects and injures not only myriad groups of vulnerable fishermen, including 320,000 Filipino fishermen, but also present and future generations of people across nations. This has seriously undermined the food and energy security of the coastal states in the South China Sea, including the Philippines. The grave consequences of these actions justify the court's involvement, as it affirms one of the principles of the Rome Statute, that the most serious crimes of concern to the international community as a whole must not go unpunished, and that effective prosecution must be ensured. Though widely publicized, the sea atrocity, inhumane actions of Chinese officials in the South China Sea and within Philippine territory remain unpunished. And it is only the ICC that can exact accountability on behalf of Filipinos and the international community respecting the rule of law. Following Articles 12.2a and 127.2, the court retains its jurisdiction over crimes committed on Philippines territory by Chinese nationals during the period the Philippines was a state party to the Rome Statute, November 2011 to March 17, 2019, which is just a few days ago. Possible consequences of the failure to exact accountability on these Chinese actions include: 1. Continued food and livelihood deprivation of Filipino fishermen, along with other groups of vulnerable fishermen in the South China Sea. 2. Continued and forcible exclusion of non-Chinese nationals in the South China Sea. And 3. Impunity and the license for the perpetrators to continue in the South China Sea and possibly elsewhere in the world this most massive, near-permanent, and devastating destruction of the environment in humanity's history.